Extradimensional Crisis released yesterday, and there are already some decks that are shaping up the meta quite a bit. So in this video I wanted to go through some of the newer decks, so this doesn't include every deck that is viable in this meta right now, but this includes some of the newer decks with some of the newer cards. So this first deck includes the new Tapu Koko and Zeraora cards. It utilizes the electrical cord, since the electrical cord can swap around some energies quite quickly and efficiently when one of your Pokemon actually dies, where Zeraora is able to get energies from its ability. And the same with Tapu Koko's Plasma Hurricane. It is able to get energies very consistently and easily. Actually, powering up the Pikachu ability is not as hard anymore, and it will be able to do 150 damage as a final blow. Because in the early game you either play Zeraora or Tapu Koko to actually get 1 point, maybe even 2, and then Pikachu you are able to one-shot any EX card basically. And with the help of Cyrus you will be able to get in your opponent's low Pokemon in the active, and Sabrina will help as well, where Red will be able to deal an extra 20 damage with Pikachu EX, so 170 is basically enough to pretty much knock out anything the opponent could have. This deck does seem very fun to play, and when I get the cards I will be sure to play this as well. So this next deck is including the new Sil Valley and Type Null cards, and it also utilizes Gladion. Now, Type Null is the card that you are gonna be having in your hand as your first basic Pokemon, because Rampardos of course comes from Skull Fossil, and Skull Fossil is not a basic Pokemon, so it won't be in your hand guaranteed. However, you will be able to actually evolve your Type Null pretty easily, usually with either a Professor's Research or a Gladion, since Gladion gives you either a Type Null or a Sil Valley card. So in the best case scenario, you would actually have a Type Null in your active with an energy on it, and then be able to play Gladion and Sil Valley after with an energy which grants it 100 damage in a few seconds, which is quite a lot of energy on like a turn 3 or something like that. And in the other case, you can still get lucky and have a Skull Fossil plus Rampardos Rare Candy, which will still be able to 130 damage as well. Plus a red, which can use another 20 extra damage for EX cards, and you have an Iono and a Mars to try disrupt the enemy's hand, and Iono to actually get your hand to be better as well. So this deck also looks very fun and very good to play. I recommend playing this deck with quite a lot of supporter cards, since of course Sil Valley does an extra 50 damage if you played a supporter card. So this is basically maybe a little bit of a variant of the Rampardos Garchomp deck, that if you don't want to use any EX cards or don't want to rely on rare candies and have a little bit more wiggle room with a Sil Valley and a Type Null, I would recommend this deck. Now next up we have the new Nihilego card. This card looks like it is gonna be a very annoying card to play against. Nihilego is able to increase your poison damage by 10, which means that if you have 2 Nihilegos on your bench, poison will actually deal 30 damage per turn. And with a Darkrai as well in this deck, you are able to do like 50 chip damage with just 2 Nihilegos and a Darkrai. So that is quite insane. Now you also get a Poipole for some early damage. Is nice to play in the early stages, and a Nagandel as well, which is able to poison your opponent's Pokemon and do 40 damage. So if you have a Nagandel in your active spot and you attack with it with 1 or 2 Nihilego on your bench, your attack will do like 40 plus 20 or 30 damage, which is quite nice. And it gives it the opponent's Pokemon a poison, which will deal another 20 or 30 every turn. So that is pretty good. Then for the support cards, it's pretty standard, just a Cyrus and a Sabrina, some X-Speed if you want to get rid of your Darkrai or your Nagandel, which both cost 2 to retreat. And then, yeah, that is basically this deck. It looks kind of fun to play as well. And your opponent is gonna probably hate you. Now this deck utilizes Guzzlord and Celesteela. Guzzlord and Celesteela combined is a deadly force. Just the Guzzlord alone, with his Grindcore attack, is able to do 30 damage in the early game and stall your opponent if you get the right flips. Grindcore is basically a attack form of Team Rocket Grunt. So you can just get rid of the enemy's energy and use another 30 damage as well in that. This deck also includes a Poison Barb and the Nihilego. So since Guzzlord has 170 HP, it is going to take a while to get through all that. So if you have a Poison Barb on him, when your enemy or opponent attacks you, he is going to get poisoned. So if you have a Nihilego on your bench, that poison is also going to do 20 damage every single turn, which is amazing. And Celesteela is here to use Ultra Thrusters, which is able to get your Guzzlord out very easily if he gets low, and also swap it with a Nihilego or vice versa if needed. Of course, you can also use Celesteela himself to get him in the active if your Guzzlord is close to being knocked out, and Lusamine is here to rescue you in the late game. Being able to put 2 energies on either a Celesteela or a Guzzlord is amazing, and even Celesteela can be good with 100 damage, with his 100 damage attack. So yeah, this also looks like a deck that will be very hard to deal with and very fun to play. Now lastly, this deck, the Buzzwole Celesteela deck, looks like it is the new meta-defining deck. This deck is insane to play against. If you looked at the Buzzwole card, you would have seen that Big Beat is only able to be used once every 2 turns, basically. However, there is a way around that. You can use Celesteela. If you have 2 Celesteela, you can just swap out your Buzzwole for one of your Celesteela, then use the other Celesteela's ability again to get Buzzwole in, and the effect will be gone. The same can be done using just its retreat. You can retreat and then use Celesteela to get Buzzwole in again, and you can still just do damage. Now in this we also have a Pheromosa, which is able to do some early chip damage if you want, and a Lusamine, which is able to give your Buzzwole energies. So in the ideal case, you would either play a Pheromosa first. If it gets knocked out, your Buzzwole will be able to get 2 energies from Lusamine. Now you also are playing a grass type deck, which means that you can utilize Leaf Cape, and you can utilize Erica for some extra damage, for some extra HP and some extra healing. This deck looks like it is going to be one of the strongest meta decks right now. So if you have the cards and you want to win some games, just play this. Now I hope you are enjoying the Extradimensional Crisis, and good luck in your ranked games.